In their recent loss to the Indiana Pacers, the Dallas Mavericks gave up a staggering 133 points. I'm going to get into all of their defensive possessions until garbage time hit in the fourth quarter, and I'm going to show some of the ways that the Pacers put the Mavericks into tough positions, but also some of the accountability elements that the Mavericks should reflect on regardless of matchup to get better performance coming off of actually, quality recent defense during their 7-game win streak. They had the number one defensive rating. That's not to say they were the number one defense in the NBA, but just the results they achieved were much more positive than they did against the Pacers. And I'm going to get into all of that. And so let's just get right into it. Some of the observations early on to keep tabs on: Luka Doncic's assignment is Benedict Mathurin, and as you'll see here, as the stack pick and roll play develops, Derek Lively is going to be playing up in ball screen coverage, and Tyrese Haliburton did a lot of screen rejects against ice coverage, and here Luka Doncic is in a position to neutralize the pass to the roller, so Haliburton, after he picks up his dribble and is scanning the floor, he gets the ball to Mathurin. Lively recovers to Turner, and this is a well-defended possession. Luka is now guarding Mathurin late in the clock, and he takes a tough shot and misses. Another quality defensive possession. Benedict Mathurin plays out of a ball screen reject with Miles Turner. Luka tips the ball up. Miles thinks about an ISO, doesn't have anything, and then the ball ends up finding Nembhard after a ball screen, gets it to Mathurin, who attacks off the catch, and Lively's waiting in the paint at the top of the restricted area to wall him up, get vertical, and force a miss. Pascal Siakam is pushing on the break, attacks early, and Derek Lively shows help, but Miles Turner is in the paint, too open, gets the ball, and is able to play through contact out of the pound dribble, lowers the shoulder, and draws a foul for the and one. Lively's going to need to recover quicker than this when he is showing help to get back to the paint, since playmaking forwards are going to be able to quickly leverage the attention they're commanding to create opportunities for their teammates like Siakam did. There were quite a few just blatantly bad turnovers in this game. PJ Washington is bringing the ball up to get into the offense, gets ripped by Pascal Siakam at half court, and turnovers lead to compromised transition defense just as it did here, and they're going to have to cut down on those turnovers going forward. This was one of the quality defensive possessions from the Mavericks. Pascal Siakam attacks going right early in the shot clock, tries to get by PJ Washington, and he makes enough contact, slows him up for Derek Lively to get a hand on the ball on the contest as a rim protector. Miles Turner grabs the offensive rebound, but 3 defenders crowd him and force a turnover. Tyrese Haliburton put a lot of pressure on the Mavericks defense. Derek Lively is playing up in ball screen coverage, but Haliburton gets by him, prompting PJ Washington to show help at the top of the charge circle, and now the back line of the defense is Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Haliburton leaves his feet and makes a jump pass. Irving and Doncic end up being neutralized as well, leaving Pascal Siakam wide open on the wing, and the shot just rims out. But that's a look that the Mavericks are essentially saying that they're willing to live with by rotating low man help. A couple of points to think about on this play: the value of a stretch 5, but then also the Pacers already having an ideal matchup for Pascal Siakam by pushing on the break. Josh Green is guarding him, and this is going to be a quick attack. He attacks the middle of the floor with his right hand, and he gets into the paint, plays through the bump, and draws Derek Lively, the low defender, to rotate off the corner. And now Miles Turner, who Tyrese Haliburton is signaling to Siakam to make the pass to, is wide open in the corner and knocks the shot down. And if help is going to be sent by the low defender, they're going to need a more aggressive closeout to contest the shot. The Pacers push it on the break after Luka Doncic misses the shot. Benedict Mathurin leaked out early, but Pascal Siakam is late to recognize this. Still tries to throw the lob. It's not a clean one, so Benedict Mathurin touch passes to Miles Turner, and then Derek Lively recovers and rips the ball loose. But Luka Doncic turned it over, trying to throw it ahead to Josh Green, and now the Pacers are back in the half court. Indiana plays 5-on-4 basketball as a result. Miles Turner is left in the corner. Derek Lively tries to get out on him. The shot rims out, but again, turnovers result in quality looks is a theme in this game. Tyrese Haliburton plays out of a ball screen rejection with Miles Turner again, and this was well guarded. Derek Lively is not playing up as high in ball screen coverage. Haliburton plays with pace as he's getting downhill to read what Derek Lively is going to commit to. Is he going to stay attached to the big? Is he going to commit to helping on the drive? And Lively actually just maintains enough position to have both options at his disposal. He pressures Haliburton as he gets into that left-hand scoop finish, and this disrupts him enough to force the miss. The Pacers try to confuse the Mavericks by playing stack pick and roll with Andrew Nembhard as the ball handler and Tyrese Haliburton as the back screener for Miles Turner. Turner slips, Haliburton sets that back screen, and this confuses the Mavericks enough to where Josh Green doesn't disengage from Haliburton's back screen in time to be able to pressure Nembhard's finish attempt, and this results in a layup. Pretty simple sequence here. Pascal Siakam screens for Haliburton. The Pacers draw the soft switch. Now Josh Green, the undersized defender, is guarding Siakam on an isolation possession. And as Siakam is making his move, Derek Lively is showing help in the paint, leaving Miles Turner open in the strong side corner. And this shot is just offline. But again, the value of having a stretch five where you have that power player at the 4 to be able to attack smaller defenders, draw the attention of the rim protector, and it makes the defense pick their poison, whether they want to help against a star player making a play or get out on a shooter to be able to make that contest in the corner. If the Mavericks are going to switch handoffs and switch everything in general when they have certain personnel on the floor, Luka Doncic has to get more into the ball. He's responsible for Benedict Mathurin here, and he's leaving way too much space, has to be more aggressive to crowd him. It's just too easy of a pull-up three, and he knocks it down. Another example, the Pacers playing fast. Tyrese Haliburton throws it ahead to Pascal Siakam to make a play in space. He gets a couple back down dribbles against PJ Washington, fakes the turnaround jumper and gets a step through and converts the finish. As this play runs back, notice how PJ Washington bites on the fake, kind of lunges forward and gives up that positioning for Siakam to get into that step through and finish with his right hand. Early in this play, Tyrese Haliburton gets it to Benedict Mathurin. Miles Turner had been screening for him, and Luka Doncic is going to have to fight through this screen and make a contest. Instead, he gives a wide open look for Mathurin and he knocks it down. A common target for the Pacers offense to hunt was Tim Hardaway Jr. On the perimeter, he was a smaller target to have to try to guard, the more talented front court players after switching. And here on an exit screen for Benedict Mathurin, Hardaway finds himself being responsible for Miles Turner. The Pacers quickly double, give up the open jumper to Siakam, who misses the shot. This is one of the realities of living with tough threes, living and dying by those sequences. The Pacers are able to create chaos on the open floor. Haliburton throws it ahead, and McConnell takes a tough short-range pull-up, misses it, but this is an opportunity for a putback for Jalen Smith. Here's another transition push where Tyrese Haliburton throws it ahead to TJ McConnell, and Derrick Jones Jr. does a great job of pressuring him and altering this finish attempt on the reverse. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a bad turnover on this play, trying to get it back to Kyrie Irving. Instead of getting back on defense, Kyrie Irving tries to make a play on the ball by crowding the passer, and now it's a 2-on-1. Haliburton has an easy dunk on the break. The Pacers became pretty focused on hunting Tim Hardaway Jr., who was guarding Pascal Siakam pretty frequently. Here he has a post-up, draws 2, gets it to Jalen Smith, who hesitated on the catch and misses the 3. But this time, with more off-ball activity and deeper pre-catch positioning, this is a pretty simple sequence for Pascal Siakam to score, just turning to the inside and finishing with the right-hand hook. This was a quality defensive possession against the Pacers bench unit. TJ McConnell draws Daniel Gafford on the switch. He contains the drive. And then Jalen Smith flashes out to the three-point line. Gafford runs out to contest, and the shot's offline. Maxi Kleber and Daniel Gafford are sharing the floor, and this allows the Mavericks to do some switching out on the perimeter. Here, the ball ends up finding TJ McConnell. He attacks downhill, passes it out, and then it finds Obi Toppin, who gets into a handoff with Doug McDermott. Mavericks switch. McDermott immediately passes to Toppin on the pop, and he misses the shot. The Mavericks will need to pay more attention earlier in possessions in transition defense about matchups. Kyrie Irving, the low defender, has to tag Obi Toppin. That leaves Ben Shepherd open, who then knocks down the 3. Kyrie Irving tries driving through a crowd, loses the ball, and now the Pacers have a 3-on-1 on the break, and this results in an alley-oop for Obi Toppin. A theme throughout this game was bad gambles in the passing lanes by the Mavs. Derrick Jones Jr. ends up trying to make a play after TJ McConnell gives it up, and then Doug McDermott plays out of a ball screen. McConnell spins, gets into a floater, and knocks it down. This play amounts to Derek Lively playing drop coverage against TJ McConnell, but with Maxi Kleber as a low defender, I feel like he could probably play up a little bit more, get into the ball to contest this pull-up. This is McConnell's shot, and you should be able to trust that you have that low defender presence with size to impact a potential pass to the roller. TJ McConnell makes a throw-ahead pass here, but ends up getting it back, and then gets into a ghost screening action with Doug McDermott as the screener. Maxi Kleber is the big defender in this action. And watch here, he ends up veer switching this one, contains the drive, and Derek Lively helps and gets a hand on the ball on the drop-off pass. Pretty straightforward play here. The Mavericks have a failed alley-oop exchange, and then Luka Doncic wraps up TJ McConnell at midcourt, gets called for the foul, and end of possession. But later on, Luka ends up making a great read in the passing lanes and jumps the pass to Ben Shepherd, forcing a turnover. This was a quality defensive possession that starts with Josh Green picking up TJ McConnell full court. This kind of slows up the possession. The intent here was to attack Luka Doncic, with TJ McConnell tossing it to Ben Shepherd in the corner, who is being guarded by Luka. Luka switches on the baseline drive, but then Lively handles the help, and McConnell tries to take a tough short-range pull-up and misses. Jaden Hardy and Maxi Kleber have a failed alley-oop attempt in transition. Josh Green makes a pointless gamble and puts the Mavericks defense at a disadvantage. Ben Shepherd is left wide open for a three and knocks it down. This is another situation where the Mavericks need to cut out the gambles when role players are trying to play out of ball screens. Josh Green tries to jump this pass, and now he puts the rest of the unit at a disadvantage. Luka Doncic helps on the drive, and now Derek Lively is going to have to recognize to make this X out much quicker. Obi Toppin gets a clean look from three and knocks it down. This possession is a great example of when handling switching assignments and getting into the ball can create bad positions for role players to have to make decisions. Doug McDermott gets the ball to Obi Toppin on the pop after the handoff, and now he has to make a decision with the ball, tries to force it to Miles Turner. It's a turnover. Having Maxi Kleber switching against bench talent comes up helpful here again. Obi Toppin hands it off to Doug McDermott. Kleber switches, contests the three, and it's a miss. Josh Green is pre-rotated off of Tyrese Haliburton and puts him at a disadvantage into the zoom action handoff, where now, after drawing two, Luka Doncic has to cover a lot of ground, tagging Miles Turner, making the closeout on Doug McDermott, and then he fouls on the recovery attempt for an and one floater. After pushing on the break, Miles Turner gets the ball to Andrew Nembhard, and Luka Doncic has to close out on him, contain the drive, and then is just not enough resistance trying to handle this, lets him get to a short-range spot, and this ends up rolling in. The possession starts with Nembhard screening for Haliburton to get Luka switched onto Haliburton, and then the Pacers play out of a ball screen reject, baseline drive, Haliburton makes the pocket pass to Turner, and then two defenders just kind of jump at Miles Turner, sending him to the line. There needs to be either trust for the big to handle this or the low defender. Both can't just jump and lunge and collide with the roll man trying to make a play at the rim. A simple play here, PJ Washington misses the three. Miles Turner was the one to contest, and he leaks out and gets a wide open dunk with no one getting back in time. Another bad offensive possession for the Mavs. Josh Green loses the ball, turns it over, and now Tyrese Haliburton's able to finish on the break. The Pacers inbound the ball, and it finds Benedict Mathurin, who gets into a ball screen with Miles Turner, but he just loses the handle mid-drive, and it just goes out of bounds. With Miles Turner screening early as Tyrese Haliburton crosses half court, Daniel Gafford is off balance playing as the big defender in this ball screen. Haliburton has an open pocket pass, and Turner just finishes through contact against Gafford. Haliburton does a great job of creating this pick and pop three for Miles Turner. He rejects the screen using a push crossover, and he retreat dribbles and holds it long enough to draw the commitment of Daniel Gafford, the big defender, before throwing a hook pass to Turner on the pop for the open three. There's a lot to unpack on this possession. It starts with Derrick Jones Jr. icing the ball screen, and with Haliburton playing out of a reject, Miles Turner does a great job of taking a wide angle after releasing this screen, and that really puts a lot of pressure on the strong side with Tim Hardaway Jr. rotating off of the corner, and there's got to be a clear understanding of how they're going to handle this one if they're going to take this approach. Daniel Gafford doesn't offer resistance. He's just backpedaling. Tyrese Haliburton's able to get into a jump pass where Tim Hardaway Jr. has to account for both the roller and the corner, and this freezes him up with Haliburton leaving his feet and finding Nembhard on the corner. Derrick Jones Jr. either needs to get out hard on the shooter in the corner with an X out, or Kyrie Irving has to handle two with one. He can't just be hugged up on Benedict Mathurin. Either way, the responsibilities against strong side help on ball screen rejects needs to be sorted out if they're going to take that approach, because typically you would have the weak side low defender handling that responsibility. Here, Haliburton plays out of double drag with Siakam and Turner as screeners. Hardaway cuts him off and contests the step back two, and it's a miss. After PJ Washington loses the ball attacking out of the corner with the behind-the-back move, the Pacers push it on the break. Tyrese Haliburton receives a ball screen from Miles Turner and attacks baseline. The Mavs veer switch this one with Maxi Kleber, but he doesn't get into the ball quickly enough. Haliburton takes a step back long two along the baseline and hits it. After Hardaway misses a floater, Tyrese Haliburton's very aggressive pushing on the break, plays out of a push crossover with PJ Washington not getting into the ball, and Miles Turner was jockeying with Maxi Kleber in the paint, no help, and Haliburton finishes on the right side of the rim. The Mavericks miss a corner three on this play, which creates a chance for the Pacers to push on the break. Haliburton gets the ball popping, and with Tim Hardaway Jr. cross-matched onto Haliburton as a result of the transition push, he gets into an ISO, and this is just a left-to-right crossover into the step back, and he misses the three. Tyrese Haliburton gets a ball screen from Miles Turner. This forces Tim Hardaway Jr. to switch onto Turner, and the Pacers just have a failed exchange here on the entry pass, and it goes out of bounds. In my opinion, PJ Washington picks up Pascal Siakam too high, gets beat on the in-and-out dribble after Siakam gets the ball from Tyrese Haliburton. Now the Mavs defense is out of position. Siakam then gets it out to Mathurin with Kleba helping, shot fake and blow-by, and now it's a wraparound pass to Siakam in the restricted area, and then the Mavericks just foul. After the Mavericks miss a jumper here, the Pacers push it on the break. Tyrese Haliburton has a clever approach. He keeps it on a handoff involving Luka Doncic's man, and neither defender is accounting for Haliburton. He draws weak side help, sprays it out to Siakam, who then had an open shot, but Miles Turner was called for an offensive foul. Pascal Siakam brings the ball up, gives it to Tyrese Haliburton, and screens, resulting in a soft switch where Tim Hardaway Jr. is now cross-matched onto Siakam, tries to front him in the post. Haliburton capitalizes, making the entry pass. And now the Mavericks are going to have to double the post to not give up that type of mismatch. And Benedict Mathurin 45 cuts from the weak side wing. Luka Doncic, the low defender, is in a position to make a play on the basketball, gets a hand on it, and forces the ball out of bounds. After Haliburton inbounds the ball to Mathurin, Hardaway helps, recognizes this well, and this is a miss. No foul call. Mavs go the other way. Even after a made basket, the Pacers are very aggressive, looking to push it. Tyrese Haliburton burns by Kyrie Irving, and with help rotated over, he uses a floater and banks it in. Kyrie Irving misses a jumper here, and then the Pacers push on the break with Tyrese Haliburton taking a really tough, really deep three, and he airballs it, but Luka Doncic made a heads-up play here and blocks a putback attempt before the half. The Pacers get into a high ball screen. Tyrese Haliburton makes a pocket pass, and Derek Lively tries to recover on a Miles Turner, but he jumps into Miles Turner just enough instead of getting vertical and holding his ground, and this results in a foul call. After breaking the ball up, Haliburton slows it down and trusts Benedict Mathurin to make a play against Luka Doncic, and Luka's sagging off to give space for the three. Mathurin pulls it and misses the shot. This play is just too easy for the Pacers. Miles Turner spaces from the three. Lively doesn't recognize it. Late and easy shot. Pascal Siakam receives the ball from Tyrese Haliburton early on in this play and just blows by PJ Washington, turns the corner deep on the drive, and finishes at the rim. He's got to contain this better if he's going to handle one-on-one. And Kyrie Irving, if he's going to help, he has to help. He has to make some presence felt. Another turnover where the Pacers now have possession and are playing at an advantage. The ball just pops and ultimately finds Miles Turner for an open catch-and-shoot jumper. As the miss happens, the Mavericks are not assertive on the boards, give up an offensive rebound and a point-blank floater. It's a miss, but again, better execution is needed. Tyrese Haliburton gets blitzed in this ball screen from Miles Turner, gives it up on the short roll. PJ Washington is pre-rotated as a low defender. Luka Doncic was ball watching, didn't recognize that he has to account for Pascal Siakam's cut, gives up a deep catch, and this is just an easy shot. The Pacers push on a miss once again on the break, and Miles Turner is available for a pass from Andrew Nembhard. Lively has to guard him and makes contact when Turner attacks right to set up the spin middle and gets sent to the free throw line. Next time, Lively will have to wall up with the chest and not use the forearm. Luka Doncic takes a jab step three, misses the shot. The Pacers get the rebound, push on the break, and then as Tyrese Haliburton brings it up, Miles Turner is going to get into a ball screen for him, and Haliburton's going to reject it after reading that Derek Lively is stepping up, anticipating the use of the screen, and Lively tries to recover to cut off Haliburton, show help. Haliburton counters by throwing a behind-the-back pass to Turner for the catch-and-shoot look. Lively does a great job of trying to get back out, uses his length to contest, and the shot's a miss. After Tyrese Haliburton receives a handoff from Miles Turner, he reverses it to Andrew Nembhard, and Nembhard attacks PJ Washington off the catch. And this is where confusion kind of happens for the Mavericks defense. Nembhard gets Washington off balance, creates separation on the jump stop, and then Lively comes over to help, but he bites on a fake for a low percentage shot by a smaller guard. When he's 7 feet tall, he can just get vertical, contest short range shot if it comes, and then Miles Turner is left wide open as a result, with neither Lively or Washington committing out to him in short range, and he knocks down the catch and shoot jump shot. Lively getting beat on the fake ended up being the final element of this where Turner's left wide open. The Mavericks ice this ball screen. Haliburton makes a pocket pass to Miles Turner in the short roll, and this is just not enough resistance at all from Luka Doncic as a low defender. If he's going to fill this role, he has to cut off Miles Turner and make his presence felt. This is just too easy getting the left side of the rim for a finish. The Pacers try to attack early after Luka Doncic misses a tough two, and PJ Washington takes Siakam, handles him on his own. There's no need for a help. There's no need for a double. Siakam takes a post one-legged fade and misses the shot. Mavericks rebound the ball. After Kyrie Irving misses the finish, the Pacers have a 5-on-4, and Derek Lively does a great job of containing Miles Turner here. He rips the ball loose, and it's a steal going the other way. The Mavericks were eager to continue switching. Here, Josh Green gets switched off of Tyrese Haliburton after Haliburton back screens for Pascal Siakam. Now it's PJ Washington trying to top block Haliburton before a handoff. And then instead of switching, they show and recover, so Daniel Gafford doesn't have to guard Haliburton on the island. And Josh Green is rotated as the low defender, and Haliburton reads this, fakes a pass, and throws it to the corner. Great closeout by Green. He ends up containing Siakam on the off-the-catch attack. Now Siakam settles for a short-range two, and it's a miss. The Mavericks ice this ball screen, and Miles Turner slips, is left completely wide open. Luka Doncic has to make this contest, just stands there, and Turner hits the shot. Once again, the pressure of guarding a team with an effective stretch five. Miles Turner receives a catch-and-shoot look after Pascal Siakam attacks downhill and kicks it out to him. Daniel Gafford is neutralized here. He tries to contest, and now three defenders fail to come up with a rebound. Green gambles on the pass, gets beat. Haliburton then makes a pass to the trailing Turner, seals off Gafford, and now Turner has an easy finish at the rim. Tim Hardaway Jr. turns it over, trying to create out a pick and roll, and the Pacers go the other way. Benedict Mathurin only has Luka Doncic to beat to get to the rim, does it easily, and finishes. The Mavericks miss with a Tim Hardaway Jr. step back long two. The Pacers push on the break. Tyrese Haliburton has possession of the ball here, and this ends up being a broken down switching assignment. Benedict Mathurin's left completely wide open, and this is a lucky miss for the Mavericks defense. This is another push where Pascal Siakam attacks early in the clock, has space in an empty corner. Benedict Mathurin gives it back to him after screening, and he attacks Daniel Gafford downhill, but tries to put up a tough, angled, right-handed finger roll and misses off the glass. Here, Tyrese Haliburton rejects a ball screen from Miles Turner, reverses it to Benedict Mathurin, who attacks Luka Doncic on the closeout, and Derrick Jones Jr. makes a great rotation, blocks the finger roll, and the Mavericks close the possession with the rebound. Here, the Pacers use multiple actions, but ultimately this results in Benedict Mathurin gaining possession for an isolation against Luka Doncic at the top of the key. And this is a situation where Luka's going to have to get in the ball more aggressively. It's too comfortable for Benedict Mathurin to pull up and hit the shot. Here's an example of the Mavericks veer switching, leaving too much of a cushion. They can't allow an offensive player to play off two, have patience, and be in a short-range spot to hit a shot. He's got to step up. This was probably one of the top defensive plays by any defender on the Mavericks throughout this game. Daniel Gafford, as the Mavericks handle switching with player movement and off-ball screening, he gets switched onto Benedict Mathurin, leaves a cushion but has a hand up, and then lunges at the right time to block the step-back three by Benedict Mathurin. The Mavericks bigs have to make a more concerted effort to contain dribble penetration on switches if they're going to switch some of these screens. Daniel Gafford, as his play develops, gets switched onto Andrew Nembhard, and he's on his heels, as you see here, as Nembhard gets the ball back and attacks downhill. This is too easy, gets to a short-range spot, fade, knocks down the shot. The Pacers are aggressive, pushing it on the break after Luka Doncic misses the floater. And this is going to have to be a quicker recognition of a stretch big flashing towards the top by Daniel Gafford. He makes a kind of half-effort closeout, and this ends up being a miss. But again, he's got to have to make a more aggressive effort and recognize quicker. This was one of the few quality defensive possessions that the Mavericks had in the later stage of the game. Watch Maxi Kleber. He pre-switches with Obi Toppin, knowing that a ball screen is probably going to be coming, and then he veer switches on TJ McConnell, and then Gafford takes the cutter and rejects the shot attempt at the rim. Here, Derrick Jones Jr. gets beat by a back cut by Andrew Nembhard. This is just too easy. He's able to make a clean catch, finish through contact, and this is easy too. The Mavericks end this possession with a stagnant catch in the corner with Maxi Kleber guarding Andrew Nembhard after they initially tried to dribble the clock out to end the third quarter. And this is actually just a tip of the cap sort of situation here. He's able to break down Kleber and get a contested long two and makes the shot. With this ending up being an empty corner possession, the Mavericks are going to have to make this switch quicker and be more aggressive getting into the ball. McConnell is able to get downhill, get to a spot near the block, raise up and shoot, and this is too easy. Without one of their stars on the court, the Pacers didn't really have much shot creation on the floor at this point of the game, and the Mavericks are able to switch everything with Kleber at the 5, and they get a good contest with McConnell trying to break him down. After he gets the ball back here, he's able to get to a spot in short range, but 6'10 Kleber contests, and it's a miss. This is why you get back on defense instead of gamble. After P.J. Washington misses the 3, the Pacers are in a position to handle Obi Toppin's drive. He tries to do too much, tries to make a pass after leaving his feet, and it's a turnover. Here's yet another example of a turnover being costly. The Mavericks don't get back on defense. It's a 2-on-1 to start out, and McConnell just makes a finger roll and gets the finish to go. Quality containment from Tim Hardaway Jr. on the ball screen reject. The left-hand finger roll gets blocked at the rim. Obi Toppin isn't much of a motion shooter, but ends up getting this flare screen, gets the shot off the catch. Washington contests, and this is a bad miss. This play ends up being a breakdown where Kyrie Irving stands and points, directing Tim Hardaway Jr. to switch when there's a pin down here for Doug McDermott screening for Ben Shepherd. Nobody gets in the ball. Hardaway's late, and it's a clean look. Ben Shepherd knocks it down. As this possession develops, it ends up being a breakdown involving the 2 trade deadline acquisitions. This needs to be a big-to-big switch. Gafford needs to get in the ball and contest. Obi Toppin gets a clean look and makes the defense pay. Here, there's a better handling of those switching responsibilities. P.J. Washington initially is responsible for Jalen Smith after the first switch. Daniel Gafford then switches onto him after he flashes to the three-point line, gets a contest to shots offline. Still down 8, this was a massive breakdown by the Mavs transition defense. 3 defenders are crowded at the nail. No one accounts for Ben Shepherd on the weak side. It's a completely wide open look, and he makes the Mavs pay. After the Mavericks end up having a failed exchange in the paint, the Pacers go the other way, and then Pascal Siakam gets the ball with Kyrie Irving as a cross match. The Mavs double, and they leave Miles Turner completely unaccounted for in the paint. Luka Doncic has to rotate quicker as the low defender, but just wraps him up and fouls. Tyrese Haliburton receives a ball screen from Miles Turner on this play. Luka Doncic tags the roller and allows Daniel Gafford to recover after this pocket pass is made, and he's got to get back out to the three-point line. Luka takes too long to make this contest. Andrew Nembhard has space on the catch, knocks it down. With Maxi Kleber at the 5 at this point of the game, the Mavericks are going to switch everything. Miles Turner comes back up to set a rescreen for the Pacers to draw that switch. And Kleber's got to know that Haliburton's going to get to that left to right crossover. That's what he loves to do. And he breaks him down off the dribble, gets right into it, crosses up Kleber, and gets the shot off and knocks it down. Kleber switches on to Haliburton again, and Haliburton again, he really loves that left to right crossover step back 3. Kleber is still leaving a cushion sagged off. Gets a little bit better of a contest, but again, this is more of Haliburton missing the shot than the defense in the isolation position. The Mavericks give up an offensive rebound. Kleber switches onto Haliburton again, and he doesn't contain him on the drive. This is just too easy, little resistance. Haliburton breaks him down with the hezzy and then makes the hook pass to Miles Turner. The Pacers get the shooting foul call. This is another situation where the Pacers force a turnover. They get out on the break, and Haliburton gets a really early screen from Miles Turner. He draws Maxi Kleber on the switch, and again, this is just light work, breaking him down off the dribble. He goes between the legs, cross, and then push crossover, gets by and protects the ball, scoop finish, and gets the layup. This was a better defended isolation possession. Kleber again switches on to Haliburton, and Haliburton, mostly because he's taking that step back, going to his left instead of going to his right, Kleber's able just to lunge forward and contest, and the shot's offline. If you made it this far in the video, I greatly appreciate you watching it, and I would also appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it if you feel like doing so, and stay tuned for more content like this throughout the rest of the Mavericks season.